After a long winter, the hens are finally laying again, and I've revived my sourdough starter from the fridge. So far, I've been making a variety of breads and English muffins. Today, I'm making fresh sourdough egg pasta and pairing it with locally sourced dairy and beautifully roasted chicken thighs. First, I weighed and added the flour to a large mixing bowl and made a well. I added the starter, eggs, olive oil, and salt into the well, then using a fork, I mixed the wet ingredients slowly into the flour until well incorporated. I kneaded the dough for about 5 to 7 minutes until it formed a smooth ball. I wrapped it in an airtight container and let it rest. I left it in the cool pantry, which usually stays around 65 degrees Fahrenheit, allowing it to ferment overnight. This gave it a light, beautiful texture and deep, complex flavor. Alternatively, you could let it rest at least 30 minutes, if not fermenting. After resting, I divided the dough into manageable pieces. I rolled it out using a pasta roller attachment, gradually reducing the thickness. I cut the pasta into fettuccine, keeping it well dusted with flour to prevent sticking, and I kept it covered until I was ready to use it a little later. I'm fortunate enough to source my chicken and dairy locally from Lucas Organic Farm Market, ensuring high-quality, ethically raised ingredients. I preheated the oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit or 200 degrees Celsius. I patted the chicken dry and seasoned it generously with salt and pepper. Then I placed the chicken skin side down into a cold cast iron pan. This is so the fat would render and create a golden crust. I roasted it for about 45 minutes, close to an hour. I turned it in the last 15 minutes and made sure the internal temperature reached 165 degrees Fahrenheit. After roasting, I removed the chicken from the pan and let it rest. And while the chicken rested, I used flavorful drippings left in the pan to saute mushrooms, onions, and garlic, allowing them to develop a deep caramelized flavor. I then added some of my preserved sun-dried tomatoes, letting them simmer briefly to release their rich, concentrated flavor before deglazing with white wine. Once the sauce had thickened into a silky, luscious consistency, I boiled the pasta for just a few minutes, enough to keep its delicate texture. I then tossed it directly into the sauce along with a little pasta water and finished with fresh cream, ensuring every strand was perfectly coated. A handful of parsley from the greenhouse added a fresh element to the dish. The sourdough pasta was cooked to perfection, and the rich, creamy sauce complemented it well. I plated it up with the roasted chicken on top. Fresh, local, and nourishing, this meal was worth savoring.